Hey everyone, it's Raj from 3CB. Lakers guard D'Angelo Russell, who was acquired at the trade deadline, is now a free agent. And there's been a lot of mixed opinion on the player about whether the Lakers should re-sign him or not. And in my opinion, I've always felt that there has been a lot of recency bias with him based on that Denver Nuggets series where he clearly struggled, where it clearly was not a matchup for him, and he shouldn't have been playing nearly as many minutes as he was. And in Game 4, those minutes were reduced significantly. However, that being said, when judging a player, you can't just judge them on the most recent examples. You have to judge them over the entire span of what they did for the team. And if you look at that, I think D'Angelo showed some very, very promising qualities that he can bring to the Lakers. Firstly, is his ability to be a primary playmaker on the ball, and then secondarily as well, his ability to space the floor as well. And then thirdly, and this wasn't the case versus Denver, who attacked him, but he showed himself to be a better defender, and especially a better off-ball team defender than most would give him credit for. The first thing in particular is especially important over the course of the 82-game regular season, especially in keeping LeBron's energy levels higher and giving him more gas in the tank for the playoffs. So I think, some people are missing the forest for the trees here when it comes to D'Angelo, in that forgetting you have to get to the playoffs first, and you have to get there with your stars having as much energy left. And I think D'Angelo can be a very, very big role player during the regular season, even maybe potentially more than that during the regular season, to then allow a guy like LeBron, even a guy like Reeves, to have more in the tank when it matters most. Further, there was a big knock on D'Angelo heading into the playoffs that he had played quite poorly in the playoffs, and that was true. However, outside the Denver series, the first two rounds, he played pretty well overall, and he also had key moments in key games. For example, Game 4 versus Memphis, the team is down 8. He goes on a 9-0 run when the team's offense was completely dead in the water to help the Lakers get that 3-1 win. Game 1 versus the Warriors, start second half, he takes over the offense and is a key spark. And then when Golden State goes on their 14-0 run, D'Angelo is the one who made a very nice play against the zone, a nice little, left fake over his shoulder, bank shot over the right to give the Lakers that lead back, which they didn't relinquish for that game. And that was a critical moment in that game, considering how well Lakers had played and how Golden State had come back. So we'd have to balance, all those things together to say, do we want D'Angelo back or not? And then further, and the team has said this, he said this, right? This was a team who was not even really working on that much cohesion and chemistry because they hadn't played that many games together, and you just don't get that many practices together either at that point. And also, they were all pressing on that gas pedal just to get to the playoffs and then play throughout the playoffs. And I think that manifested especially versus Denver, who were quite well rested. Last but not least, there were many individuals who were giving D'Angelo stick for sitting out games in the regular season when he was having trouble with his ankle after an ankle sprain. However, he did show that he was able to play during higher intensity games, so that approach and process paid off. Taking all those things into consideration, you have to take his positives with the negatives, especially the fact that he might not be a 16-game playoff player, and take that into consideration when it comes to his salary. He's not a guy, in my opinion, you want to give more than that 20 million slot to, but if you can get him at something reasonable in between that 16 to 20 range, I think the value there is quite appropriate, especially if it means taking the responsibility and the burden off LeBron and giving him more energy for when you need it most.